Please tell us your name and your job.
My name is Oli Kane. I'm a modeller and technical director at Framestore and a graduate from Ravensbourne.
Okay. So can you tell us your journey from start to finish? You know, what did you study? Like how you got into where you are?
Yeah, I originally started as a 2D animator about, I think I was 16 for an espresso animation. So I worked on Frosties and Cocoa Pops.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
And then got a job at Framestore as like a junior modeller. Well, I hadn't even touched 3D before, so I did that. Then came to Ravensbourne, worked on Avatar in my first year.
Oh wow,
and then from there, I joined as a modeller for film and commercials whilst studying at Ravensbourne. And then when I graduated, I became TD, technical director on McLaren, and then became a lead on McLaren as well. And then since then, I've been pretty much doing more and more jobs. So Audrey Hepburn thing, I was one of the modelers that did all the facial blend shapes. And then recently I've done the Channel 4 space rocket season.
Oh.
So if you've seen the advert, the space rocket going up in the sky, that's my rocket, astronaut. I did the lighting and stuff for that. So yeah, become...
That's pretty impressive.
It's a weird career. It was all by accident. I always could draw, and it kind of developed into a hobby and then became into actual my career. So I never really wanted to get into this. It was more I wanted to be a sports, a footballer, swimmer. Injury kind of pulled me out of it and put me back into. Yeah, it's a weird career, but it's incredible. So
that's pretty cool. So go through us a normal day for you, and if you don't have a normal day, what you do most often?
Commercials is the weirdest day. Like today, I've worked on I think 4 shows. I worked on Mobile One, which is McLaren's extra TV series we do for the oil company. So that's, if any of you seen Tuned, I think there was a brief shot of it in the presentation. So I worked on that today. I worked on the Channel 4. I'm doing the big posters that will be on the motorway boards.
What advice would you give a Ravensbourne student, not necessarily wanting to get into Framestore, just getting into the industry, regardless of the role, or particularly your role?
Wow, it's quite hard. Pretty much it's trying to learn a variety of skills, but also if you enjoy one, be really good at it. Because as soon as I started 3D, I only could model. Until about 2 years ago, I could only model. And then once you've homed in on that skill, you can develop in other kind of parts of the process. And so my modelling is what I'm known for, and now I can do lighting. So my first major job as a lighting TD was on Channel 4. And so you kind of develop more skills. So I'd always say, be good at something, and then you can vary your skills when you're kind of in a position to do it. Because some people come in and say, I'm a generalist. Yeah, if you're asked to model, you're up against modelers. Or they say, I can light. Or if you're a generalist, but you're going against lighters, those people have done lighting for maybe 2 or 3 years. You've only done it once or twice over the 2 or 3 years. So yeah, be good at something, and then kind of vary your skills later on.
Okay. So can you just shortly describe what is a modeler? What do you do?
What is a modeler? So you can make the characters, the props. I think Gravity is a great example. It's all CG, so everything is made by people like me. I did some previs for Gravity, so that was a long time ago. I think there's meant to be a frog in one of the last shots. I originally made the base mesh. I don't think it ever made it through, but that's my claim. Rise to fame, I think.
That's really cool.
But yeah, I make all the props, characters, vehicles, stuff like that. It's quite cool.
All right. How did you feel when you saw Framestore underneath the talent in the credits when usually be so much?
Oh yeah, incredible. It's especially there's a lot of we do long hours, and sometimes the money is not always great, or the recognition of what we do. Like you've got films like Life of Pi, Avatar, where you put all those big names ahead, but then if you take away what we do, it's kind of, there's nothing there. So it was incredible to see, especially, it was nice, because I've met Alfonso a few times, and he was always kind of loves CG, especially for what we do. So yeah, it was good to see.
That's really good. Just going on to what you were talking about, Audrey Hepburn, and you did the Galaxy advert. Did you ever think about the uncanny valley at all, with how and creating the textures for her face? Did you ever find that you would react negatively to what you'd created, or do you think you managed?
Well, because it's CG.
Yeah, because you.
Well, the bits I did is all kind of underlining, but I always think I wonder if people could relate to this. Like, will they even accept it as? Because as soon as you throw away, you're like, she's dead. That's not real. It kind of cuts that kind of attachment to the advert. But it seems that people did actually like the fact that people can do that. Because I think there's other adverts.
It probably is.
That do have, I don't know the singer. He's the one who sings Dance in the Rain, or Singing in the Rain, that's the one. They brought him back, they did a CG version of him. And people loved that. And when, sometimes you might think that people might react badly to having things like that. But yeah, it seems like people did enjoy it. Okay. So hopefully there's more work for that. Because that was incredible. I only did small bits. But yeah, I did enjoy working on that.
Oh, okay. When you're what's your dream as a modeler? Like, what do you want to end up? What do you want to create? Do you want to make the next King Kong? Do you want to like?
I think my dream was to work at Weta.
Okay.
I think it's just because their clientele is Planet of the Apes, The Hobbit. They've got that fantasy kind of backdrop that they will get a lot of that kind of work.
Yeah. And
that's what my dream is always, to move to New Zealand and work on stuff like that.
Okay.
But I would love to be a CG supervisor. I never wanted that. Even when I was at Ravensbourne, I led my own projects. But I told myself I never wanted to do CG supervising because I thought it took you away from the process. Yeah. But now working with CG supervisors, it's completely different. I think that I would love to be able to run a project and say, like, this was... Like, you get more artistic direction. Especially work like McLaren was a big thing for me personally, because I'd only just graduated and I was given an episode to lead.
Oh, wow.
So that was a great thing for me, because luckily everyone went on holiday, so it only left me, so they had no choice. But I actually felt I could do this as a job.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd CG supervisor for Pixar would probably be my dream, but I don't think that was ever going to happen.
You never know.
You never know, but we'll see.